Let's have a look at the Portuguese Mauser Varego M1904 39 rifle. These rifles were originally chambered for the Portuguese 6.5 by 58mm cartridge. However, when Portugal switched to the K98 Mauser style rifle in 1939, they rebuilt their existing 6.5mm rifles into the 8mm version, which you see here. This was accomplished by removing the original barrel. It was then bored out, re-rifled, rechambered. It was also shortened in the process, as were the stocks, and new sights added. And this was to replicate the basic configuration that the K98s had. It gives you a rifle which is pretty much the same length and handling characteristics. All these Portuguese Mauser Varego rifles were built by DWM in Berlin, and they were built in the period prior to the First World War. As a result, the metal work on these rifles is really quite exceptional. The standards of fit and finish is very nice. Of course, this particular rifle shows wear because, of course, it is a fairly old weapon, and it's seen quite a bit of service. The sights in these rifles are quite similar to those found on a Mauser K98. However, they are actually quite superior because the rear sight notch is much more square. It's much more distinctly defined than it is on a Mauser. I personally do not care for K98 sights. I find them very difficult to use. However, these are nice and square and blocky. It's easy to get a good sight picture. The front sight is protected by rather substantial guards, and it's a nice square dimensioned sight which is quite easy to pick up. You can see the high quality of the machining evident on this rifle. The rifle is also equipped with a bayonet bar, very similar to a Mauser. Here we have a look at the action of the Mauser Varego. You can see the Mauser style magazine. The bolt system is much more reminiscent of a Mannlicher style bolt. The safety is two positions. When it's switched to the right, it is on safe and the striker is locked, and to the left it is on fire. Bolt removal is quite simple. Simply open the bolt to the rear, pull the bolt catch to the side, and withdraw the bolt to the rear. The bolt is more of a Mannlicher style, as I mentioned earlier. The bolt head is separate from the main bolt body. There are two locking lugs on the bolt, which can be seen here, and also the root of the bolt handle and the guide lug acts as an emergency lock should there be any difficulties with the rest of the locking system. The bolts on these rifles are extremely difficult to reassemble. They are quite easy to disassemble, but they are the most ignorant thing I've ever seen to try to reassemble. I wouldn't recommend taking them apart if you can avoid it. The magazine floor plate is hinged at the front, and it may be opened by means of a catch inside the trigger guard at the rear, very similar to the way a sporter rifle would be set up. The rifle is also equipped with charger guides, and standard K98 style chargers or stripper clips may be used. As you can see, charger loading is quite a bit faster than loading individual rounds. The rifle may be easily unloaded by opening the bolt, extracting the round that is in the chamber. Then simply push the floor plate catch, let the floor plate open, and let the rounds that are in the magazine fall out. And there the rifle is unloaded without having to cycle the rounds through the chamber.